I feel like my stream has gone live. Did you notice? You feel that? I think. Good day. Welcome to the show. I'm Marijuana Man, and this is from under the influence of this. Welcome back to the proceedings. Here it is Wednesday again in Vancouver, and I find myself solo today. Solo. No, I'm not so low, but I'm still pretty high. But nobody else showed up. Is kind of where I'm going with that. So glad you guys did. Glad I'm not so low. But, right? And I'm echoing. I echoed in the room. Huh. That would be challenging to do the show like that with that echo. But Anil's here to keep all the stuff flowing in the stream. The stream has to flow. It's all so technical and button pushing. Holy moly. But, yeah, technology, old school, new school. It's still school. School's out. So, yeah, what's going on today? Much ado about nothing, really. So many things out there. I don't pay too much attention to the rest of the world anymore. It's just way too much. And virtually anything, I don't know, most things that you run into about it, the rest of the world, is kind of presented in a very biased position, leading people to try to get people to think a certain way. That's fucked. So, I try not to think a certain way. I gave that up, thinking a certain way. Because it don't matter. Yeah. So, yeah, what? My phone died the other day. Just stopped working. And, of course, no way to retrieve anything that was on it. Of course. You go like, what the fuck kind of technology is this? Really? What's in it for me? I know I gotta get a new phone because this one died, but what the fuck's that stupid little SIM card for?
Oh, you can put something on. Not even once.
Never once asked me if I wanted to do that ever in the history of the using the phone. Say, hey, you want to save this to your SIM card? You go, oh, I didn't know I could. Like, what the fuck's going on, stupid phones? So, of course, you got to lose a bunch of phone numbers that you have no way of getting back till you see that person. And, so, interesting. I will track everybody down somehow, some way. David Malmo Levine, bless his heart, was the only one who wanted to know, was asking about getting his number, so he phoned me my new number and wanted to know, make sure I wasn't being hacked. Makes me hack. Not this weed though. Congo doesn't make me hack ever. Love this marijuana so much. It is every day, all day kind of weed for me, that's for sure. Got such a nice uplifting, not wildly scramble your brain kind of sativa, but just fucking feel like you're alive. So yeah, technology is fucking crazy. I love it. You can find anything on the internet. I just love that aspect of it. Although, it wasn't all that long ago that information offered from the internet was received with scorn. And it wasn't really that long ago that said, well, you can't believe what you see on the internet. That's what everyone said. Not now. That has completely reversed into it being the complete source of information for everything. But so much stuff out there. So yeah, that's really cool to be able to research the shit out of stuff. The other day, I actually was able to look up certainly what the Earth looked like 28 million years ago, and wind patterns in prehistoric time, and temperature and environmental features of the planet throughout the eons, trying to, have a chance at looking at where cannabis might have originated from. This story about it showing up on the Tibetan fucking steppes as being the origin of it, I don't know. I keep seeing that being reprinted. And last week that story came out, and they said it may have, but now it absolutely has. The reprints of the stories have confirmed that this is what the case is. And quite frankly, there's not a chance they even know. Right? There's just no way they even know. And I don't know, I think I talked about it last week. Did I?
Which is
That Tibetan stuff. The ancient origins of cannabis 28 million years ago.
more in the context of where you couldn't think
So, yeah, I'm not too sure that that's where it comes from. I think it comes from Africa, and it traveled there and ended up in the Tibetan steppes. Some of it. The rest of it was sativas. I think it traveled north from Africa on the Indian continent as it drifted north over millions of years, slamming into Asia, creating the Himalayas and the Tibetan steppes. And pretty much see cannabis spread throughout from fucking South India all the way up through to the Tibetan steppes. Some form of cannabis. I think it just was distributed from that continent, introduced to the region, and over the millions of years was able to, survive as it survived. And just because humans have found those old remains, I'm not too sure how they conclude that the pollen that they found, it's questionable whether or not it is even cannabis pollen, but there's no reason to think that it isn't. So, but to then leap to the conclusion that this happened 28 million years ago, and that this was the origin because that's what they found. Well, yeah, you found evidence that cannabis was in the region that long ago. Still is in the region, or would have been if it wasn't illegal. Would have been in the whole region if it wasn't illegal. Idiots. But, I don't know. I've looked at it for a long time, and I'm fairly convinced that that was the path, because just because you found stuff in Tibet doesn't necessarily make that the fucking end to end all things. It's a pretty good area to find stuff too. It's dry and cold, and stuff is well preserved. In the Congo, where they have cannabis too, they say. It's older than humans. So, I found stuff on the internet. The prevailing winds are fucking from the south to the north too, so interesting. But I do think we covered that last week. Much confusion, much talk about fucking cannabis out there in the world. It's totally gone berserk. Really. They just come up with so many things. They haven't really looked at the plant. That's the problem. Nobody wants to look at the cannabis plant. The fuck do you want to do that for? They're more concerned about the marketplace than the plant. They're taking it for granted, just like the black market. Here's a stupid thing. There's some campaign now to whether or not we should be calling it the black market. Right? That, no shit. Some people, I don't know, maybe I've got it written on my phone, I'll find it, but let's see what I do have written on my phone. Ooh, it's almost 4:20. Written on my phone.
But it still does that.
Yep, says that right on my phone. It's almost 4:20.
Your phone's not so bad.
So, yeah, I took the 420 out for a little rip to White Rock the other day. Blow the carbon out of the motor up on the highway. Man, that thing flies. It has a lot of power. Yeah, it's a fast little fucking engine. Holy cow. It just, and sounds so good while you're driving along. It's just fucking humming. And then step it down and it just keeps humming. You go, wow, it doesn't even sound like it's trying any harder, and you're going way faster. So, yeah, fun. It's always fun to go out for a ride, and it's really comfy, and I don't know, it's fun. People talk to you. People actually talk to you in the world. Which is really nice, actually. Meet all kinds of nice people. And White Rock's the kind of place where people go and cruise their cars down along the beach road. Right? That's what you do. So, and then eat fish and chips. You know, that kind of deal. Although, you better get out there early, because they are not a late fish and chip kind of crowd. Vancouver and surrounding district is like being in fucking public school. Really. Like, it's just so lame. You go, wow. Like, even in White Rock, on a Sunday night, there should be some fucking fun going on somewhere. Can't people figure out how to start having fun again? Like in a neighborhood?
There was a bill, a motion of notice about that at the council last night.
Yes, let's end fun once and for all. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be good to have something in every neighborhood that would create that kind of feeling, right? Where you have a local gathering spot in your neighborhood, even if it has to be a bar. And generally, it's going to be a nice, really nice cafe where people would then and be able to be out on the street, making a little noise, having some fun, right? Something. Because you drive around this city and it's just fucking boring. There's nothing going on. Through each neighborhood, you go, really? Like, there is nothing here like that. Even downtown. Downtown's closed at night. So it's an interesting city how it's been developed and into this just no fun. They've pretty much outlawed living here too, which is probably. Oh, there's Vicky.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
He's in here?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
We'll get your microphone spun around. There you go. Fucking, she's like such a rock star, eh? Fucking smashing equipment over here and.
This came apart. There we go. Oh, tried to race here for 420.
Very close. You got him at 422. You were in the building at 420 for sure.
Oh, that was close. I ran across the street.
420
Upstairs.
joint. So yeah, next we'll have Cannabis Day go on, something probably here in Vancouver.
Ooh.
July 1st, as we always do. Thornton Park has been worked out pretty well in the last couple outings. So I imagine we'll do that and develop a little bit more fun down there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that's always something to do.
Got some pot.
That's all that matters, I think, eh? No matter what the question is, I got some pot.
Yeah, it doesn't. No money, got some pot though.
Yeah, I read a story today about canopy growth. They've given away a bunch of money to
To who?
an undisclosed amount of money, but money worthy of mentioning in the news, I guess, to Parents Action. What is it called? Come on. Parent Action on Drugs organization and Students for Sensible Drug Policy. Canadian students, not just students. Get it? Canadian students.
Wow, why can't all students have those rights?
No students. Students don't need rights. Adults need rights.
True.
Students just do what we come up with here. I don't need your help, students. You ain't smart enough yet. Like, even though you look smart and you say things.
Yeah, the experience isn't there.
But you're a student. Come on. If you were a 50-year-old student, that'd be different. Then you've got some experience and actual knowledge in your life, because information isn't knowledge till you've experienced. You got to add that portion to it.
Yeah. Poor
Then
kids going to
that
school.
equals knowledge. So, but at any rate, I went to both of these home pages to see what their point of view is vis-a-vis cannabis, if you will. And it's the same bullshit I've been listening to my whole life about the dangers and fucking caution and the abuse and the addiction. And
Yeah,
the
where's the
fucking
proof? Like, quit slandering it and tell us, like, okay, where are these real stats? Where did you test this? When? Was it before or after propaganda?
It's just fucking nonsense. It's the same nonsense everybody else spews.
I want the LPs to show me their victims. Instead of like,
Yeah.
well, if they all agree,
Show us your
all
victims.
agree, let's just see your victims.
Well, so it begs to me to ask the question as to why is canopy growth fucking promoting the continued stigma and misinformation about cannabis? Political move? Get it in the news, your fucking stock prices go up because you did that? I don't know. It's good for your image. But it doesn't make sense to me. Do a little research. You'd fucking know. You must have somebody that works for you there at Canopy Growth who knows that a lot of what they're preaching at both of those web pages is completely wrong. And like I say, the students should shut up. As far as I'm, so should the parents. But all right, if you're gonna spew the shit, but yet they get fucking paid, don't they? Huh? Political and crooked nonsense.
Yeah, the worst thing that could happen from a kid with cannabis is the incarceration of their parents, or the slander against their parents for using it, or the fucking fake facts that are put out saying that cannabis is even bad to begin with. Like, shut the fuck up. You do worse things. You probably put worse things down the toilet, worse things down your drain, using things in your fucking car.
Yes. So here's what Canopy Growth did. They teamed up with these two prohibitionist websites. To create digital tools to fight underage marijuana abuse, is what the headline said. Right? You go, oh, wait a second.
That's confusing.
Wait a second. But of course, the Canopy Growth gave these two outfits money to create an educational chat bot and text messaging system that is meant to help youth, parents, and educators talk frankly about cannabis use. According to Hillary Black, the partnership began a couple years ago. Says the company understood that legalization would bring up concerns about the potential for young people to use and abuse the drug. Use and abuse is back in fashion now with cannabis. Hillary says we have a tremendous responsibility to make sure those who may be at risk when using the drug are not using it. What?
What?
Make sure those who may be at risk when using the drug are not using it. We have a tremendous responsibility that those people who are at risk. What the fuck kind of statement is that, Hillary? Holy cow. That's fucking twisted nonsense. At risk of what? What is the risk? You go to these two web pages and they tell you the risk is fucking well, Vicky's on this show like I gotta get an extra lighter.
Need an extra hand? You're gonna have like 3 joints.
2 hands and 3 lighters. But I say, don't give money to fucking propagandize fucking teens and children. You sick fucks. Don't you get it? I don't know. It's only with cannabis and all drugs now that we seem to think it's okay to teach our children about it. Idiots. You only do it for money. Wicked idiots. There's money in doing that. It's fucked. You should not do it. Why do it? Why are you teaching kids about drugs in the schools? It's mindless, fucking pointless propaganda leading them to fucking drugs, for God's sakes.
And then they're trying to recruit kids at the same time to be a part of the RCMP at the age of 17, you know, or like even younger. They're just like
students of sensible drug policy want this to fucking branch out even to younger children, for God's sakes. Even younger than grade 4 they're talking about. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, the kid's like, oh, what's that?
And in the same breath, they say, well, you know, because the Just Say No program didn't work. Well, yeah, that doesn't work like that. Don't introduce children to drugs, which are, some of them are fucking dangerous, And they're all to be found in a dangerous world. Mostly. Cannabis now is different. But still, don't fucking introduce them to it, you dummies. Why would you do that?
The reality is we're test rabbits in anything that we're doing. You know, like your kid might be on Adderall, they might be on Advil, they might have gotten some flu shots, they might have gotten like so many different shots if you're bringing them to different countries.
Well, yeah, they've been ravaged with drugs their whole lives. But
Okay.
at the same time, you know, there's no fucking pharmacist walking into the schoolroom to teach them all about opioids. Right? Or to teach them anything about the other drug world, which is completely illegal to them too. I don't see any fucking people who manufacture alcohol going into the schools and teaching them all about booze. You wouldn't fucking let them do that. Even if at the end of the talk to the kid was, you know, don't you go and do it. But here's what beer smells like. Here's what whiskey smells like. Would you let them do that? Bring a couple hookers into the classroom and say, okay, well, you know, maybe at times you're not going to have any money and you'll be hooked on those drugs that we showed you last week. Okay, here's what you have to do then. Would you fucking want to do that? Are you insane? No one would. Why do it with drugs? All those other dangers exist, but you don't teach them anything about that. Why? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you expand the adult horrors that await you program? No, they don't.
Yeah.
It's just cannabis, you fucks.
Cell phones in this generation right now are way more harmful than cannabis will ever be. Considering that children at the age of fucking 0 are using iPads and we're just like using these fucking big battery packs, carrying them around and letting kids stare at them all day and not even seeing things in the real world for themselves. And that's devastating for the fucking future generations because everyone's going to be so dumb. Everyone's going to be so dumb. That fucking turn off your phone, go smoke a joint and read a book.
Try to sit in the shade.
Yeah.
No, I'm a firm believer, and it's interesting conversations that I have with people. Most people that I talk to now have gone through their whole life being taught to say no to something around drugs. Their whole fucking life. So the world seems to think, yeah, we should just keep doing it. Right? But it's never been necessary to begin with. Kids have fucking nothing to do with drugs until you teach them about them. Don't you fucking get it? Can't watch it on TV, not in their movies, not in their books. They don't even know about it if you didn't let the cop go in there and show it to them.
Yet we fucking let Disney manipulate the kids and all these other fucked up shows, really? Teaching kids what real love should be like.
Oh, no.
Bullshit.
Leave kids alone. You gotta leave kids alone to be kids, for fuck's sakes.
Right?
In the whole history of the fucking world, there's never been a drug dealer waiting at the edge of the schoolyard, for fuck's sakes, ever. Kids are not even a marketplace. They don't have any money. What the fuck are you thinking? Now they got to figure out how to get some money. Yeah. They should bring those hookers in. Say, look, if you want to get drugs, you're going to need money. But no, you won't do that. It disgusts me that the world allows this and thinks it's okay. Right? All the people who went through it in their lives know damn well that it doesn't make a fucking bit of difference. Right? It does not change the students of sensible drug policy say, oh, the Just Say No program didn't work. Well, what are you doing? Just the very same thing. Just say it'll give me short-term memory loss. So I'll be negatively impacted if I smoke weed. No statistics or anything to back it up. It's just stupid blathering. A point of view to fucking get your point of view. And a parent's action on drugs. Wonder what that means. Are the parents on drugs? Parents' action on drugs. Huh. Parents are in action on drugs. And led down the silly path of cannabis bullshit just like it's always been. You created this world with your stupid prohibition, right? There's never been a need to be anxious about your kids. Vicky's got so many joints going there, and she's rolled another one.
Realized you were holding two, so
I was holding two, yeah, not passing. If I had a third hand, see, that's what I said earlier. If I had a third hand, I could hold 3 joints and not pass. But it's all fun and games till somebody loses an iPhone. Oop, and then my phone went blink. Wonder why.
Ding ding.
Huh. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. Is everybody thinking about it? No. Going, wow. DARE was a fucking scam. The whole program, it was created by the police. Same with the program in Canada. It was created by the fucking police for their purposes. And that was to expand the idea that fucking prohibition is necessary. That's it, that's all. And they got a lot of jobs out of it. Every cop got paid to be in every fucking classroom for all these stupid years for no apparent reason other than to introduce your child to drugs. So, what fucking kid? Where are they going to hear about cannabis then? Now all parents are being encouraged to have discussions with their children about it. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
The world has made it okay to fucking tell kids about everything.
The kids accidentally narc on their parents, like traumatizing them forever. Like, imagine that. Like, that would be the worst ever. Like, some kid goes to DARE, realizes their parents are growing weed or something. And it's like, oh my God,
Yeah, I'm sure
this might
it
be the right
happened
thing
a
to do.
lot.
And like, telling the law.
That's what they told
Brutal.
them. That's what was in it for
Holy
them.
fuck.
Figuring it out.
And
Yeah.
it's fucked.
Right?
And it was all about cannabis, really.
Right? Kid realizing, wow, cannabis isn't even bad. It was manipulated.
Taking my mom away now. Wait, what?
Right? Taking the family away. Once again, that's the worst thing for a kid is incarceration.
Oh, it's just insane, really, how the world thinks about kids nowadays. See, they've been abandoned, is what the thing is. The parents don't have time for their children anymore. And haven't for a long time, actually, because it's too fucking expensive to live in this world. If you want to live in the modern fucking world or whatever it's called now, you gonna pay. So mom and dad gotta be working all day, every fucking day to support the family. So kids are just left to the fucking world here, right? And the world has, all the parents have demanded over time for the world to protect their fucking kids because they're not gonna be able to, right? As far as I can tell. So.
Yeah, the parents don't have enough time in their lives because they're too busy being a fucking society slave. Like, that's the fucking weird thing we're in.
A lot of the rules that I'm handed around cannabis, which won't hurt your child, Yeah, I'm not a big fan of kids smoking it either, but it really won't hurt them if they do. I don't get the right to do it so easily to protect your child. That's not right. I'm not here to fucking protect your child. When did that start? People are supposed to look after their own, or if you would fucking be kind enough to let us help,
Yeah,
we could help you.
right.
I've never, in all the years of me buying cannabis, ever saw a kid being offered cannabis
Right.
to
Even
buy.
if they had cannabis on site and had the school there showing them how to grow, like this is how we grow hemp. This is how we grow medicine. It's really easy to grow. And rather than it
That-
being perceived as a negative thing, like kids could be in a worse place, that's for sure. Like kids in Fukushima right now, there's schools still there and there's radioactive matter everywhere, fucking still polluting our waters. Yet they still have a school. Like it's different in every culture, yet we're not killing anyone or hurting anyone.
yeah.
It's a little plant that does so much wonders for this world. Like, come on.
Yeah, Weed Godzilla is great.
Weed Godzilla is great.
Oh, real Godzilla. Nuclear Godzilla.
So everywhere I looked the other day, as I was walking around, there was posters for upcoming summer blockbuster movies. One was Aladdin. You go, again.
Yeah, am I in 1990?
The next one was for Godzilla. And you go, again. And then the next one, no shit, was Men in Black. Still, I think is what that one said too.
People are fucking lame. Like, people don't have imagination anymore. That they're just
These are the blockbuster.
Going
It's
back
all
on
over.
old
Entertainment's
things.
done. They're too afraid to make stuff anymore. Yeah.
once the weed is out there, the writers will get more creative. Have the
Well,
courage to
I
get
hope
it out
so.
to the
Well,
public.
it's 4:44.
444.
Time to smoke a joint. So yeah, way to go. Like canopy growth, eh? Like, really? There was a test done in Jamaica by the National Institute on Drug Abuse some years ago. They funded it. And they followed children. It's kind of creepy, I know, but they did a study of children throughout quite a few years in their lives, actually. One group having been given ganja and had ganja their whole lives, and the other ones who didn't. Conclusion was the ones on ganja, all without fail, were doing way better, in all aspects of their life than the other ones. And they, of course, ended the study and didn't publish the results.
Wow.
So there's no evidence it's ever hurt anybody. No kid has stumbled into cannabis and ever been hurt in any way, ever, that I'm aware of. You would have heard, you'd think, if somebody somewhere.
Right? Nobody has died.
There's been cases of people who don't like it, and for whatever reason, all of a sudden, their body rejects it. So, still didn't hurt you, really.
Right? It's not going to kill you. You're going to either puke it up, like get super sleepy, sleep it off. It's just like a weed hangover. Like, if you've ever dabbled in edibles and had too much, if a kid accidentally got into edibles, that's what would happen. Rather than the kid
Yeah.
dying. Like, it's not Tylenol or it's not Lysol.
Kids get into things. That's what they're for. That's what kids are for, is to get into things. That's how you know stuff. You have to. Information, experience equals knowledge. When your mom says that'll burn you, you don't know till you find out.
Oh yeah, I've been burned pretty bad.
And then you know. You absolutely know. If you get burned again, that's your fault. Right? Once you know, you're on your own.
Mm-hmm.
What else is going on? Oh. Canada's legal outdoor industry is about to fucking start growing out there. These people are just fucking clueless. Here's what they say. Things like, this is in Brantford,
The fucking snow pile's
Ontario.
finally almost gone.
Yeah, really. It'll be Canada's largest legal cannabis farm.
I always think that's funny when people put like largest or first or best in their signs. It's like people know, they're gonna know. Like they don't need a sign. People are just gonna know that you have good weed.
Yeah. No, planting outdoors will allow them to produce larger and taller crops, she said.
What about all the other fucking gorilla growing going out in Canada? I'm sure that's not the biggest.
Well, yeah, you get bigger plants, but do you get better weed is kind of more the issue. What's better, indoor or outdoor in Brantford, Ontario weed? Grown by idiots who don't know a whole lot about fucking growing weed. Yeah, it'll be they're headed for making oil out of it all. Is all they want to do. We'll be planting them out in the fields and it will grow quickly. They call it a weed for a reason. This is the woman who owns this company who got a license to grow outdoor weed. Oh my God. Knows nothing about it at all. This is why they call it a weed. Doesn't even fit the classification of a weed scientifically or botanically, really.
Oh yeah, it's a herb.
A weed is a plant that you don't want growing in a place that it's growing. Doesn't matter what it is. Corn. Didn't want that there. Yank it. Get the fucking Roundup. Get that corn out of here.
Fuck, Roundup's so bad, it's cancerous.
Yeah. No, we don't do that. We don't round up. We smoke up.
Roundup, ground up, smoke up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, they said other stupid stuff too. Allison says, growing outdoor provides more economic benefits. They already switched to economic. All they could say about growing outdoor was there'll be taller crops.
Oh my God.
And they grow quickly.
So that's their first
Because
crop
it's a
ever
weed.
What
Oh,
if it all
first
goes to
crop
mold?
fucking ever in their lives.
Like, what if they accidentally get all mites? What if there's all mold? Like, it's not going to be very economic then. When you got to pull down your whole crop. The largest crop ever in Canada.
She said, Allison said, when you're growing outdoor, you have a low-cost input and a quality input that you're able to extract and turn into the vapes and edibles and all those products that both patients and consumers are really for in the cannabis market.
Like, fuck. They need to give everyone craft licenses ASAP. Like, super easy. $20. Here's a license.
Sell your weed on the side of the fucking
Making
highway
millions of
like
dollars right there.
farmers do their corn in the summer around
Right?
there.
Should be that easy.
Why not? I saw a local strawberry tent today, and
Right.
downtown Vancouver. I thought, well, I wonder how local. Where they grew those. But I don't know if anybody.
And they didn't probably have any information of how it was grown. Like, what was it sprayed? Are they wiped afterwards?
Yeah, really, keep your kids away from that. Get the police. No, it's all.
Who's handling these berries? Did they wash their hands?
I didn't look any of this shit up, but she said the soil too is an important factor in determining the quality of the crop. And she said the location is good here because it was once used to grow tobacco.
Well,
So I'm not too sure. I didn't even look up how you grow tobacco and what
realistically,
tobacco
if it was
requires.
fucking used for tobacco, like, who knows what shit they sprayed and, like, what the soil is even like.
Radioactive pesticides.
Right? Like, did they just have a crop duster go over top? It's like, yeah,
Not sure
we're
how
just gonna
that's
spray all this. People are just gonna smoke it anyways. You gotta get those like real life permaculture people that are trying to regenerate the soil, and have those people teaching everyone how to do that, rather than people just being like, "Oh, it's good."
No. Allison says this is ideal land to grow cannabis on. It grows really well here in southern Ontario. There's a
How'd
lot.
she know if it was just legalized though?
There's a lot of people. Well, she went on to answer your question. There's a lot of people growing it currently with medical patients,
Oh, okay.
not outdoor. There'll be 100 cameras on the farm to ensure that intruders stay off the grass.
Keep off the grass, man.
Cute.
Brutal. Don't they just have some of
They're
these-
just going to grow average weed if, in fact, they're successful at all. And I'm sure they will, because it's not all that hard to do. But, yeah, it'll be a.
Is that gonna be like?
The important time is not so much now. Anyone can fucking grow weed. Needs water, reasonably rich soil. That's it. That all.
Bring down
Right.
prohibition prices if you're growing on the biggest crop ever. You know, like
you
bring it down to $1 for
No, they're
everyone.
gonna turn
$1
it-
gram outdoor weed.
turn it all into oil. That's what they're gonna do, and call the oil good. Right, from average weed. What could you get from that? Average oil.
Right? There should be
So,
like in the future, I don't know, sections where it's like, this is the seed, this is it growing right here, right over here. This is the bud, we're about to take it down. And here's what we have in the jar right here, you know, and then there's the oil. It's like, here we have like the keef and the shake and all this other stuff that we made out of it. Like, we pressed some rosin, we made some shatter too. And this is all from the seed that you can get. You can get that too. Like, that would be way cool if they did that rather than just like, this is the oil.
yeah. No, it's a shame that. Well, they will learn. No, they probably won't, because at this stage of the game, they'll be able to sell their oil for top buck in Germany. Canopy Growth has already got a stake in this outdoor crop, but we'll see. I have seen a lot of people at this time of year over my career say, I'm going to do this magnificent outdoor thing this year. And then something went wrong. So, doesn't sound like they know too much about it. We'll see. And no talk about genetics at all. No idea how to have me licking my lips over what they're going to have come fucking November. They should be bragging then, shouldn't they? Here's where we're growing. But no, nothing. Don't even care. They don't even know. Southern Ontario is not an ideal location to grow cannabis. It's not ideal. Ideal compared to what, Allison? CEO. Of, hey, we got an idea. We should grow marijuana outdoor company. And then somehow get a license to do that. Huh. So, Allison, you're good at getting a license. Let's see what kind of weed you come up with. Same crap that you would grow outdoor in Southern Ontario that nobody really wanted. Right? People only ever bought it because it was all there was.
Right? It's like, this is all there is, so I'm going to get it.
Perth County became fucking famous for weed in the 60s and early 70s, as far as I can remember, in Ontario.
Right. And there's BC Bud, and it's like, oh my God, BC.
And there's indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Should have spent your money fucking building a nice indoor facility and cranking out some good fucking weed
Right,
for
you
us
could
if
do
you
that
want to grow in Canada.
Year round, like wintertime, boom, we got the indoor crop. We don't even have to worry about the outdoor stuff anymore.
But come on, Allison.
Amazing.
Outdoor Brantford girl. Fucking the ideal location might be someplace like, oh, I don't know, Colombia, Mexico, Thailand, Africa. Those are the ideal locations to grow weed outdoor.
Yeah, true.
So, should be able to sue you for that remark somehow. The name of their company is 48 North, which is referring to the 48th parallel, which is a clue to why you shouldn't be growing cannabis there. But they don't know that because they can grow taller plants than I can indoor. Right? So if that's what you're after.
Wow, that's so unfair.
Well, no.
What if you didn't have a roof on your house? And then you had a plant outside comparing the one inside. It's like, come on, like,
Well,
can't you see?
they're talking about indoor potential limitations, right? But they still have to grow fucking short, compact plants in Brantford, Ontario, or you'll never get them to finish. Maybe they don't know that because they want big, tall plants, which would be more like a sativa, which you don't really have the length of season to get them to maturity. So it depends on what you're doing. But I'm fairly certain they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. People are figuring it out because they're like, it's legal. Here it is.
Well, everybody jumps into the fucking game, right? Purely
Right.
by money. I'll bet these people in Brantford have had their calculators. They had to get new ones by now to replace the old ones. They've been banging out numbers so fucking hard here. Well, if we had this many plants per acre, we'd make this much money. It goes right from having the number of plants in that much money without a thought or a clue
It's like
what you
we
might
can-
need to do to achieve that.
And it's like, remove the money. This is a
Yeah.
medicine. Like, treat it with respect. Holy fuck.
That's what every fucking grower does. Well, they do a calculation at some point to see how much money they're going to have out of that. So,
Just gotta get lots out there.
I don't know. It's a shame. I don't know what could be the best alternative to do out there. Like, it's hardly worth it in my estimation. They're gonna make oil, but it'll be fucking. They're gonna call it fucking high grade cannabis oil for some reason, even though it was grown outdoor in Brantford. How the fuck could that happen? The weed is not very good for a reason, and the only thing that determines if it's any good is the trichome, because that's where it's all going on the plant, no matter where it was grown, is what you end up with. And outdoor weed isn't very fucking good. So there's a reason for that. It has not been under the intense enough sun for a long enough time, because we're too far north. Sorry. It's only ever been popular because it was illegal and hard to get, not because it was a good thing to do, for fuck's sakes. Think about what people did go through to produce outdoor marijuana throughout the years. Look at what they went through. They fucking backpacked for days into the fucking bush.
A lifetime
and clear
of
out
pot paranoia.
Oh, yeah. The hard, massive labor that they went through.
Climbing through the mountains, bushwhacking till you get back to your crop.
One time, a couple of guys showed up at my desk when we were selling seeds to show Mark and I a video of their outdoor grow from that season. And it was somewhere around the West Coast, but it didn't matter really. But the video fucking panned around, and there was like 5-foot plants, like Christmas trees, fucking everywhere. And they were ready to pick. And I went, wow, look at them all. That's a fucking lot. How much did you get? And he said, oh, no. He said, that was the ones that we had to leave in the field because we couldn't deal with it all. He said that was like 500 pounds they just had to fucking walk away from. They didn't have enough help. They couldn't deal with it. You go, oh, yeah, I never thought about that the day you had this idea. Have to walk away from 500 pounds. Who couldn't have predicted that? So, yeah. These people are quite happy to keep this notion alive that it's a good way to go and celebrate the idea. The people who have been given licenses to provide good marijuana have been unable to do so far. No, they don't have enough weed, right? Huh. I don't know. I think, isn't that the measure of... But they don't really give a shit. It would seem, for some reason. There's nobody asking them to really provide weed and say, hey, step up your game. What the fuck? Health Canada, why wouldn't you be doing that? Say, what the fuck are you licensed producers doing? But Health Canada doesn't have a clue about cannabis or know anything about it. Right? Oh, that's just the way it is, I guess. No weed from these guys that we gave licenses to who have gotten fucking rich because you gave them a license. And they're not coughing up any fucking weed. Wouldn't last 2 weeks. Not a fucking week in the black market.
Yeah.
Really? You want to run like that? You don't fucking play.
Yeah, just thinking about the term Health Canada, it's just corporate slogan of Canada. Like, it doesn't even say health and wellness, you know? Like, oh yeah, Canada has health and wellness.
Yeah,
And that
they're
should just be
fucking-
associated separate from Canada. But it's like, Health Canada.
a department to
wow.
spend money and
Another-
control our lives
Right?
with their
Like,
decisions.
I know what's healthy for me. You're not in control
So,
of that.
how about recreational Canada? Shouldn't we have that department? If you want to have a
Yes.
cannabis, let's have fucking cannabis. You can have your medical cannabis and go and tell all these companies that no. You guys can only provide this medical marijuana that you're growing. The rest of it, Greg's going to do it. I think that's where they should maybe go with that. And then we get some good fucking weed.
Yeah, the
Like, I don't mind. If they want to legalize cannabis and kind of fucking run it this way, and if they came up with fucking killer weed that you
Yeah.
wanted to have, and the varieties that we would kind of like to have, and at a much more reasonable price. But sadly, not even close. They've launched a wine industry with the worst fucking wine that you could have imagined. Like the garbage shit that you don't want to buy. So, it's just an insult.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Really? Come on. But what do I know? Like, it is really inexpensive. It doesn't cost much to produce cannabis, for fuck's sakes. And it is just a weed. No, it's one of the kindest plants in the world, really, I think. Because we have taken it. It's one of the very few plants that has been taken out of its natural environment into an indoor environment and grown there. One of the very few plants, as far as I know. People do not do it on any other fucking scale here. Orchids. Guys grow orchids in their house under lights. But more than that, not aware of anybody else growing anything except cannabis. So it's a rare thing to take a plant from its natural habitat indoor, because we have not had a lot of experience with having done that, to see what limitations may present themselves. Because you could not get the weed from Mexico. You couldn't get it from Colombia because it was illegal. There was a fucking drug war going on, and big time. Right? So you could know, and people, what? In your garage, in your basement, under lights. So the plant itself, cannabis plant, is so forgiving to even say, okay, like, I'm going to grow. Like, it needs the basis of certain things to be able to even do what it does. So, it's a pretty tough little plant, as it turns out, to be able to withstand what we've fucking thrown at it all these years. And the demands that we've placed on it. I want you to do this. I want it to be this way. It has to be like this. It has to do.
It's like, it's all of a sudden a magic genie. It's like, okay.
Just a plant.
Just grind it, don't rub it.
So, I'm not too sure if you grew tomatoes indoor, let's say, like completely indoor, not a greenhouse, what you would be able to manipulate in the tomato-ness of this plant, like you think that you are manipulating in the cannabis plant. Right? All plants need a certain amount of things combined in their environment to allow them to be alive. they do the rest. So, I don't know if you think that it would be quite easy to have a tomato that was redder than the other ones very quickly, or one that would be juicier, or, right? Not too sure. In a breeding program, how many years it would take you to fucking achieve such things indoor with tomatoes. But they'll grow taller.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Life is just like about explaining to dumb people this is how it should be, because there's mass manipulation in society. It's like, hello, you're being fucking brainwashed, people.
Yes.
Like,
Our brains are at the laundromat
whirling around and
being
around.
washed. At the car wash.
Right?
But thank God for cannabis and its ability to withstand what we've done to it and still be kind enough to us to produce
More
a pretty
seeds
nice
and-
product
right?
indoor so far. Right? But they want to rip it apart. You know, now it's all about terpenes. Today was about terpenes are coming. It's going to be the next big hit. That was on Forbes magazine or whatever, right? And so anybody involved in terpenes right now, and then most people have no fucking clue. And then it's CBD, and then there's all these other compounds they kept saying, and you go, wait a second, well, cannabis has them all. Why don't why don't we just go with cannabis?
Is that-
The plant has it all, right there, right in front of you. It doesn't matter what you say. It's terpenes. He says it's THC.
It's everything.
But yeah,
Nobody's wrong.
This won't hurt you, so idiots. And no, they just want to rip it apart to make more money. So stop ripping it apart. How about letting us have some cannabis first? Don't make a big deal about legalizing cannabis for recreational use and then not provide anything worthy of being recreational with.
Yeah.
So step it up, fucking LPs. If you want to fucking play in the cannabis world, let's fucking get real. Start growing some cannabis and finding out how you can make it even better. Cheaper. I could show you like 5 things you're doing wrong right now in every fucking grow in this country for legalized cannabis. But they will never know. So, that's it. Don't get me started.
I'm stoned.
I'm stoned. Like there's fucking 10 joints, 10 roaches. Take
Maybe
some.
not that much, but there's a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Feels like 10.
Anyway,
10 out of 10.
gonna get out of here.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you came down.
Yeah, there's a doobie coming at you right there.
There has been all show of doobies been coming at me.
You've been holding 2 doobies at a time.
Well, yeah. I'm glad you were here because that always happens.
Love being here, so I could do that. Not often
What?
do I get to do that.
What have you been up to? Tell me more. So
Oh,
we'll finish this joint maybe.
well, open dispensary in Kitsilano, First Nations owned and operated in unceded territory here in Vancouver, which spans basically all of Vancouver. So making that statement out there to the public and to the government, and it's so exciting. Been getting a really good positive feedback from our neighbors. basically the neighbors, the owners and operators surrounding are stoked that we're there because we're bringing business to their neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
people that would normally never go into that neighborhood on West Broadway and Trutch area. So, you know, it gives that a sense of, oh, there's another neighborhood over here. Let's check this out. So we're increasing business in other places other than ourselves and giving First Nations discounts, which is ultimate, giving them the thought that we can all have free to cheap medicine. Like that's how it should be. We should be growing enough that everyone just has cannabis. Like these outlets that we have available, those should just be like little spoilers, you know? It's like we should be able to do it. We should just be able to grow as much as we want, trading it, selling it in marketplaces, or like you said, like a corn. Like it should be just as easy as being able to sell whatever fruit someone's bringing to a farmer's market. I don't know what people are spraying. I don't know what they're touching. Are they using gloves? Like, I don't know. But I know the people that are growing the cannabis that I'm selling, you know, and it's incredible being able to have that as a thing, you know? The fact that you get to see the weed before you buy it. We have jars that you can see right through it. We don't
It's not going to hurt you anyway, no matter what.
Right? It's not
Doesn't matter. It's a harmless, virtually harmless. I don't know. Oh, they'll say, oh, it's not harmless. But fuck, there's, like, no one's getting hurt here. That's the thing.
right.
It doesn't matter to me what you're going to do with it at the end of the day, because it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt anyone. So,
Right. And for myself being First Nations, this is the least thing that's going to be harmful for a society, considering there's a pipeline that's proposed to go across Canada and through the States that could potentially devastate all waterways for people to be drinking, like oil water. Like, that shouldn't even be a thing at all, as well as devastating our generations for the future. Like, we should be thinking, oh, hey, time to move onwards to the next job. There's going to be available jobs for everyone. There's not going to be lack. And I think that's what society needs to get out of, is that we're lacking and we're not. We're fucking brilliant. Like, everyone's evolving so quickly. We have these tools that we're able to connect and be diverse, and we have pot to stimulate our thoughts and processing of how we're going to get shit done. And watch out. We're going to be making more dispensaries across the world with Indigenous people, and that's how it should be, where we can get decriminalization in Africa, you know? That could bring a lot of
wait till
economic,
that happens. Oh,
right?
yeah.
That could make a huge economic benefit for them as a culture and for a whole nation, you know? Like, that's something that's naturally growing there, as well as cultures all over the world, you know? Like,
That's where the genetics for all the stuff that we smoke in all of the fancy names and shops around the fucking planet comes from. From those places on Earth.
right?
So they're all going to be very popular, I think, because it's a great place to grow weed outdoor by the fucking billions of acres compared to Brantford.
Right? We need to get free trade happening with all these other
Well,
places in the
yeah.
world, decriminalize worldwide. Let's get this happening. Let's get our hash bricks and all the good shit from Spain. And
But they don't know too much about it, right? And they're not really looking to expand into the recreational side of things so much. It's all ripping it apart and going medical. It's all still medical marijuana from the new industry. That's the way they roll, right? That's the way they're rolling. So they're not. I see no celebration of my recreational use or any of the attributes that we recreational users would have shown that we would like. Right?
and it's the exact same. Like, why do we have a different word for just using cannabis? Like, why is there a different word? It's like, yeah, I use cannabis. That's it. Not recreational, not medicinal. I use cannabis.
Yeah,
We're feeling the
it's-
exact same
and
thing.
so
It's
what?
amazing. It's
Show me why I shouldn't.
I don't want to feel sick, and I don't. Probably because I smoke cannabis, but I don't have any ailments that I have to say that I have because I don't. Like, I'm stiff. I can stretch, smoke a joint.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I don't have any stresses, and I think that's what encourages a lot of our illnesses in life as well. It's just like not having our fun stimulated in life where we're actually enjoying our jobs or our lives, or like just stressing out. It's like, am I going to make rent money? Like, that's a thing for people. Like, am I going to have enough money for food?
Yeah, you can't worry about this shit. Don't worry about your life.
Right? Just
Go
unfolds.
just live it. Doesn't change the outcome. I don't know what people do.
You just do.
Well, you might as well have fun.
Oh, yeah.
What's the fucking difference?
Having
Really,
it.
at the end of the day. And as you get older, you'll forget all about it. Whatever it is. You won't even fucking remember that it happened. So keep that in mind as your turmoil is turmoiling. I don't know. Shit happens. Depends on, I don't know. One time I lived in Canmore, Alberta, walking down the street and pretty much knew that I only had 25 cents in my pocket and no more. And, I just walked along and actually I got to the corner and up pulled a car beside me. And it was the manager of a hotel out on the highway that had a bar in it. And he drove up and asked me if I wanted a job out of the blue.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew then. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Let it.
Right? Every
Right.
time that I just smoked weed and just let it happen, I was like, whoa, this turned out way better than I thought. Find $20 on the road or something. It's like, whoa, I didn't have any money, but I just like smoked my roach and found some money.
It's a good way to live. I don't know, because life carries on, and at some point, it feels like it went fairly quickly, and so you might as well have fun. Can't remember it in the first place. It goes very fast, so have fun the whole fucking time. Who cares? Laugh in the face of everything. Fuck them. They hate that more than anything. And you're still laughing and having fun. Because that's the best, for me, it's the best way to be. What the fuck? Right?
Feels good to have fun.
Like really, stress
Enjoyment.
is fucking no fun at all. It doesn't matter what they may diagnose maybe as the result of so much stress, or I'm stressed, or blah stress, or eat this stress. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, really? Doesn't matter. If you don't have enough money, you don't have enough money. It's not how stressful is that?
Yeah.
Right? You got 3 kids running around screaming. You
Yeah.
don't have enough money. How'd you get into this fucking don't have enough money scenario? I don't know.
Right.
I know how that happens, but grr. Forget about
Yeah.
stress.
Right? And that's why we got to get moms high.
Well, if you don't have enough money, you got to get more money. Right? Isn't that kind of the math on that in your life? Right? Don't you? Isn't that... Yeah,
right?
dude.
Just start growing more weed and
Flower
grow
weed.
your own weed and be like, oh, I can fucking trade all this stuff now.
The plants will grow taller. Anyway, let's get out of here. The longer we stay on the air, the more joints Vicky's going to pass.
It's
to me.
true, I know. I
Right,
started
and
rolling
we could
2
be
joints.
here forever.
Vortex.
Vortex.
Tube
let's see
vortex.
how many fucking roaches are
How many is that?
in there. 10.
Oh my god, it is
10,
there?
11 here going maybe. That's pretty good numbers, I'd say.
Okay, okay.
There you go, kids. Teacher doesn't
There we
smoke
go.
11 joints while he's playing
See,
cannabis.
like, we're still functioning.
Don't listen
We're not overdosing here. We're just smoking weed.
Okay, to all you kids have tuned in, because there's no way to stop you. This is what happens when you smoke 11 joints in an hour.
Feeling good.
Between 2 people and Anil, but he was tapped out a long time ago.
You know,
Right. So this is
it's all
what
about the
happens
training,
to
though.
you
You gotta
now.
train
So
yourself.
you can rewind to the beginning when we started to see if we were different, how different we've become, and how dangerous it seems to be.
We get pretty rowdy in here. Several joints have been smoked in this
Rowdy in here.
episode.
All right, I gotta go. So thanks, Vicky, for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Fun.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks to Anil for providing these stream for us to swim in today.
Thanks, Neil.
And it wasn't live. Today's show was not live. So thanks for tuning in.
Right on.
Really? Do you think we could do this show live? I don't think so. Really?
Time is unknown. This could have been recorded 10 years ago.
Yes. We record all the shows in a row for 2 months, and then we haven't done anything since 1996.
In front of a live,
Yeah, very,
Yeah.
very current.
live stoned audience
Fairly
here.
current, yeah. We predicted a lot of things. All right, well, thanks for tuning in, and everybody who joined in the chat. Missed them completely, eh?
Yeah.
The chatters. Yeah.
Hey,
They
chatters.
have their own world out there. But yeah, good to see you all today, and thanks for tuning in to all the stuff at Pot TV. And come visit the store here down in Vancouver at 307 West Hastings. Always there. And until next time, I'm Marijuana Man. Peace and pot.